Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
This is just like a normal nope thread, only told from the opposite side of the story, from the one who made the nope. As an example, I'll post one that happened to me a while ago. Be me, 16 years old, home alone at my grandparents' house. All the windows are open. From where I am, I can see straight out to the lake behind their house. Hanging around with friends on Skype, wearing a bird mask. Big Japanese kitchen knife on computer desk in case of skeletons. Hear voices outside. They sound really close. Tell friends I'll be right back. Still wearing mask. Pick up a knife. Step outside onto deck to investigate. Deck is above ground. Whole house is above ground. Lights still on behind me. Look out to the lake and see a lady with her 2 kids. They're just staring at me. Realize I'm staring at them. Still wearing mask. Still holding the knife. Just stand there because I have no idea what to do. Wave to them, with the hand that has the knife in it. They move at sonic speed out of there. Still feel stupid about it to this day, but hopefully I gave someone an interesting story. Your turn, /x/.
Oh shit, this reminds me of a story. Be me, hanging with friends. We decided to relocate to another bro's place. My friend is taking his dad's awesome yellow sports car. Jaguar, something like that. I follow in my shitty black pickup, a '98 Toyota Tacoma. One of the headlights likes to go out until you punch the shit out of it. We head out. My friend gets ahead of me. I catch up. My friend makes an odd left turn into his neighborhood. That's not the way to his house. I follow. I'm confused, so I flash my brights at him. My right headlight goes out, fucking hell. My friend's yellow car speeds up like 50 miles per hour in a residential area. He's a pretty conservative driver. But I guess he's feeling like some cat and mouse. I pursue it. The yellow sports car pulls into the neighborhood. It slows down. I get closer. The car is clearly trying to lose me. It makes turns without using its blinkers, turns off its headlights, blinks left and turns right. I don't give up. I get sick of it. I called his phone. The other bro that went with him picks up. Okay, what the fuck, man? Let's just go home already. Pause. What are you talking about? We've been home for 5 minutes. What? I explain I've been following him for like 5 minutes now. I still am during the call. That's not us. But our neighbor has a car that looks like this one. What? The other yellow car speeds off into the distance. I go home and have a good laugh about how I must have scared the piss out of some poor woman with my one headlight truck. I still feel kinda bad about it. I thought about apologizing to her, but I was afraid I'd just freak her out more.
I've got one that a friend of mine did to me when I was about 6. He had just gone camping on some mountain. He shows me a video when he gets back. It's him filming the campsite because he has a new camera. In the field of view of the camera, you can see this huge black shape moving through the bushes, big and not bear-shaped. He starts crying in the video, and the camera is pointed at the ground with him running and crying before being cut off. I laugh because he's crying and I'm an asshole. Also because I expect the video to have some comedic relief. He gets pissed at me for laughing and says it's not funny. His mom confirms that he was freaked out. Years later, I find out that the video was just his mom under a blanket. I also once managed to get this same friend so paranoid that he cried. I'm spending the night at his house, and it's time to go to sleep. All the lights are out. I see something in his closet, which is left open. It looks like a face, but white and really big. I tell him that the paper in his closet looks like a face. He says, "What paper?" I point at it. He says he doesn't have paper in his closet. Oh. It moves. He starts screaming. His mom runs in with a baseball bat in her pajamas. It's a mixture of the funniest and the nicest thing I have ever seen in my life. She turns on the light. My friend is hysterical at this point. She takes out the paper. His cat is behind it. He denies the entire thing. Everyone believes his side of the story, in which I was terrified of a doll in his closet. I will always know the truth.
When I was 15, I lived in a gated community, and this is my story. Be me. Not a lot of friends. I used to be really into airsoft guns. I got an idea for Halloween. The gated community I live in has a huge street going through it lined with bushes. The street lights are usually out on that street. The night before Halloween, I get my airsoft pistol and saw off the orange tip with my dad's handsaw. I also grab my pump single-shot shotgun and saw off the tip. Both the guns look real. I dress in a black hoodie and black cargo pants. I buy these bright red contacts that glow. I hid in the bushes all night and would jump out and shoot adults and steal little kids' candy. Simple kid stuff, you know. At the end of the night, a few drifters are getting candy or going home. One kid is walking down the street alone. He is walking down my sidewalk. The kid. I know him from school. As soon as he gets in front of my bush, I jump out of the bush and tackle him onto the street. I put my face close to his so my bright red contacts are in his face. I roar into his face. Spit flies everywhere. I can hear the kid spazzing out on the ground. I stand up while he is still shivering on the ground. I cock my head to the side and pull out my spoils from the night. I slowly pour all the candy I stole all over him. I roar again and run away into the bushes. The kid didn't go to school for a week or two. I was never caught. No regrets.
I'm 11 years old. I watch a show on TV, HBO, about a guy who is mean to his family. Eventually, he gets arrested and goes to court, etc., etc. In the movie, he breaks a glass at the dinner table and says, "Fuck this shit." Well, I am in my backyard and find half of an old soda bottle. I walk into my neighbor's driveway through a very small opening that shouldn't even be there. I am oblivious to my surroundings because normally no one is ever in this area that I play in. I remember the movie I watched and I smashed the half bottle on my neighbor's driveway. I yell, "Fuck this shit." I look at the pavement because the most interesting thing in the world at that time is how the glass smashed and the pattern it made on the cement. I hear a bunch of little girls scream and cry. I look up from the pavement and see a bunch of girls running from my position. I see banners and picnic tables with Koolaid and cake. I realize I am at a birthday party and I run as fast as I ever have in my life. I hid in the woods behind my friend's house for maybe 6 hours. I never talk to him. I just hide in his woods. All the time while I was growing up, I wondered when this event would come back to me and I would be punished. I never am.
Last month. I live in a semi-rural part of South Carolina. I live on a long road surrounded by patches of woods and houses. About a 10-minute walk down the road, I can get to a friend's house. I had a pal pick me up and bring me there on his way to my friend's. After everyone had gone to sleep at around 3 a.m., I decided I wanted to go home. I started walking down the road. No woods around this area. a bunch of trailers all around. I get about halfway to my house when I hit a dark spot surrounded by a big patch of woods on each side. I'm already a little spooked, but I try my best to harden the fuck up. I hear the spine-curdling noise of leaves being rustled around in the surrounding forest. I stop dead in my tracks and carefully listen and look around. I can't see jack shit, but I can hear faint crunching noises as if it's become aware of my alarmed state. At this point, my autism, or whatever the hell you want to call it, takes over all logical fear and reason. In my brain, I had concluded that some monster or person was intentionally trying to spook me, and that made me pissed. I start spazzing out in the middle of the road. "What the fuck do you think you're doing, you piece of shit? I swear to God, if I get my hands on you, I'll rip you a new asshole." I just started screaming incoherent babble at what the hell was there. Suddenly, I gain composure. I listen for anything. Silence. I stand there in silence for I don't know how long. I continue on my way home, extremely flustered and confused. When I leave the dark patch of woods, I actually see someone outside their house looking around with a flashlight. He sees me and just looks at me like I'm handicapped. I go home. Nothing weird has happened since. Did I become the spook?
Be me, 18. Recently moved into a new apartment complex. I'm making dinner, chopping some shit up for soup. My roommate, the buddy who got the place with me, was at work and should have been home like an hour or two earlier. I decide to go call him. My cell phone is lost in the moving bullshit. Annoyed, I decide to see if my neighbors would let me use theirs without thinking about how it's already 11 p.m. I knock on their door. I'm still holding the knife and wearing an apron covered in veggie juices and shit. I'm inadvertently looking pissed off. It's probably also worth mentioning that I'm pretty freakishly tall. The neighbor opens the door. He's a middle-aged dude. "Yo, can I use your phone real quick?" "Yeah, sure, kid. You all right?" I realized I still had the apron and knife. He lets me use his phone, and I explain the situation. "Oh, man. You had me scared shitless when I opened the door."
These are all good. Let's get some more. I've got another one, which happened around the same time as the other one. Be me, hanging around at a friend's house. We're behind his house in a sketchy neighborhood at night. We bought cherry Koolaid because why the hell not? We don't realize there is a group of girls walking behind us. We are wearing weird clothes. We still don't know why we went outside at all. He is wearing one of those Victorian bird nose mask things. I've just got thin black rags over most of my face. Faint orange light from a street lamp. We're walking around, laughing pretty hard. Probably look damn drunk. I convinced him to eat the Kool-Aid powder. As he does, I take a bit of water from my water bottle. He suddenly screams and keels over, spitting out dark red chunky saliva. I think it's the funniest thing on earth, so I'm laughing maniacally at this point. This totally insane sounding laugh, mixed with the coughing of my friend and also of me, because the water did not go down right. I turn around, laughing and coughing. My friend still looks like he's vomiting blood. I see a pack of girls. They have stopped dead in their tracks. Through my laughter and coughing, I try to say, "No, stop." They sprint out of that alley. I'm still laughing and my friend is still dying. It was another 15 minutes or so before we went home. I still think it was one of the funniest moments of my life.
Late one Saturday or Friday night. I'm kind of bored, not sleepy. Had a few beers, need to get some cash from an ATM for the next day. I decided to walk my dog. He's a huge German shepherd, but friendly. to the ATM as I've been drinking. It is really cold and around 2 a.m. or so. I have my hoodie over my head. I get to the ATM. There's a young guy using it, 22-ish, drunk as hell, drunkenly muttering to himself, trying to use the ATM. I stand a few paces behind him, as you do when waiting for someone to finish. He finally gets his money and turns around and sees a guy with a huge dog. He nopes the hell out and yells, "Fuck," and falls over. He obviously was too drunk to realize we were behind him. I just try to hold back laughter and say, "You all right, mate?" He comes to his senses and stands up, saying, Fuck, you scared the shit out of me. Fuck." I just laugh a little and tell him that's okay. He looks at Axel, my dog, and says, "I bet you don't get any trouble walking with him." I just laugh and say, "Yeah." The drunk guy wanders off. I use the ATM. The end.
Kinda a long story, but I used to do quite a bit of urban exploration a few years back, and I was kind of surprised to hear the other side of a story I've been telling for the longest time. It's really changed the way I tell the story. Basically, I was worried as shit whenever I went into places because I know almost every abandoned apartment building, factory, or asylum around here hasn't been worked on due to asbestos and other crap. The companies just find it cheaper to leave the lot and nobody wants to pay the absurd cleanup costs. Anyway, when I went to these places, I have my great kit of safety gear on and everything. Full face respirator, hood, thick clothing, rubber gloves, etc. I'm not one of those lithe, nimble urban ninjas who parkour their way through these places and leave everything untouched. No, I just kind of trundle my way through because almost nobody is around. I've cut locks, unboarded windows, and even taken out a brick wall just to fully explore some places. I was a one-man expedition force. At the time, my mental health issues were pretty widely unchecked, so I was convinced that exploring dangerous places alone was actually the best thing to do. I did worry about running into insane hobos and such, but I felt like I could talk my way out of anything if it came down to it. It's pretty hard to understand someone with a mask over their mouth unless you've worked with them for some time, so I had hooked up a little microphone and put a speaker on my pack of gear I carried around. That's the preamble story next. There's an old asylum out on the highway towards what was a construction site for the longest time. Now the construction site is a business park and the asylum was finally trashed, but it was probably one of the most popular places for urban explorers years ago. When I went there, the first thing I noticed was the wall of signatures in the lobby of all the people who went through and the dates they stayed. Graffiti was everywhere. Anything of value was trashed or stolen, and almost every room spray-painted with silly warnings of "keep the fuck out" was just boring ancient hobo dens. The basement was a maze of storage rooms with nothing of value left, but the place was big enough that it took me a few hours to get a good layout. Plenty of scribbled messages on the walls, some probably written by the genuinely crazy homeless people, but most of them were probably written by the other 100 people who explored this place before. It was pretty boring and disappointing too, so I did what enough people had done before and started to carve spooky messages into the plaster walls. Real childish shit like "Where am I?" or "I can't get out." But it was about the same quality as the rest of the graffiti. As I was packing up, just about to leave, I started to hear footsteps from one of the upper floors. Probably more would-be explorers are about to be disappointed, so I figured I'd go meet up with them and maybe swap stories. Best luck I ever had, I heard them coming down the staircase just as I was heading towards it. I called them a good hello, but I winced when the speaker I was using came out at shout-like volume. They stopped coming down the stairs by the sound of it, and I could hear them whispering. No reply, but all I see is a head lean around the corner of the stairs, look right at me, and scream. I was scared at the time, and I didn't know what to say, so I shouted the first thing that came to mind. It didn't hit me until later. But the last thing you'd want to hear out of an old radio speaker carried by a faceless 6 feet 8 inches pile of jackets and gear is, I'm a human, don't run away." For the longest time I was telling that story like I met up with some ghost. But last summer I met a guy who didn't have any stories of his own, but shared one of a friend. His friend found a monster in that asylum basement that said it was human and chased him out. I told him my story after, and we had a great laugh out of it.
Be me. My friend and 2 girls are bored one night. We go into the woods on a trail because why not go for a nature walk? My friend continues to take us deeper into the woods on the old paths we used to walk when we were 13 or 14. The trees almost eliminate all light from the moon. We were now 16. Also, it's like 2 a.m. at night. We keep going. We reflect back on how we used to be scared and only go with at least 10 other kids. The girls are getting kinda scared as me and my friend don't really remember the paths and everything too well. They think we're lost. We kinda were. We keep going anyway. All of a sudden my friend stops and puts his hand up. We all stop walking and talking. We look around to see why. 2 grown men are standing in sight from us, 30 yards away. Someone makes noise, steps on a branch or some shit. They look up and notice our presence. Oh shit.jpg. Me and my friend run like animals for like 2 minutes straight. Oh shit anon, we forgot about the girls. We go back a little bit and see them running. We leave the forest forever. Screw that. I know it may not sound like much, but there are a lot of rumors about the forest near us, and my buddy accidentally got us within 30 yards of 2 grown men late at night. We were 16 and pretty small for our size, so it was scary.
Lol. This reminds me of my reverse nope story. Be 13 or 14, stealing cigarettes from convenience stores, smoking them in the woods with the cool kids from my neighborhood. We're walking to our secret spot in the woods. It had obvious fire pits dug out, and lots of old furniture and used needles and shit. But we'd only go during the day. We get there and find these 3 boys who were probably around like 9 or 10 years old. They're setting off firecrackers. They see us and flip the shit out and run away. We laugh and chase them and curse at them because we're asshole 13-year-olds. We go back to the spot and smoke cigs like little gangsters. Riding our bikes home, we intercept them on their bikes riding back home. They start crying and madly pedaling in the other direction. We laugh so fucking hard I almost fall off my bike.
I did a similar thing in high school. My friends and I were driving around lighting off fireworks and causing trouble. We drove past this little shack on the side of the road in this wooded area, and some younger kids were on top, and they tried to throw water balloons or eggs at our car. We instantly pulled over, and the kids ran like hell, but we managed to catch up to them. They were freaking out and almost crying, and one of them hurt his leg really bad when jumping off the building. We just told them we admired their style of causing trouble, gave them some fireworks, and told them to have fun and try not to get caught again because next time they wouldn't be as nice as us. I hope those kids learned a lesson.
Me, 16 years old autist, thinking I'm alone at home. I try to sneak around like Naked Snake. I'm approaching the living room. I try to peek around the corner with my invisible, beautifully customized M1911. A guy painting my window or something looks behind him and thinks I actually have a gun. We both jump. Holy shit, what am I doing? My hands suddenly shift to a more friendly waving but still distorted position. I always passed by the living room and we waved at each other like two lost fuckers pretending nothing happened. I'll miss you, buddy.
Something similar not too long ago. I have a Venetian mask a friend got for me when he was over in Europe. It's white with gold etching on it, painted red lips, and has a fake golden crown that goes on your head when you wear it. A few weeks ago, up late at night, I get the strange feeling to wear it and stare out my window. The light is illuminating behind me, so you could visibly see me well enough. I'm looking out on the empty street out on the corner. I see two teenagers walking down the street. One of them seems to glance up at me, keeps walking, then pauses, coming to a dead stop, and stares at me. His friend stops and looks too. I put my right index finger to my lips in a kind of shh way. Both of them appear to be frozen like deer in headlights before running off at a dead sprint.
Went home from drinking, drunk. Walking out of the city to my home a bit outskirty, I see a German student walking in front of me about 100-meter distance between us. I get a brilliant idea. I start chanting in a low tone, Wololololo. I start speeding up, hood on because it's rainy, Wolololo. He starts speeding up too, Wolololo. I start increasing the volume, Wolololo. I'm about 10 meters behind him. He turns around, scared as shit, and screams at me, "What the fuck do you want?" I look at him in a scared way and say I have no idea what's wrong with him and to leave me alone. He looks at me terrified but apologizes and walks on. I follow him until we are at his house where he walks in. I get under his balcony. Wololololo. He opens his balcony door. "Are you following me? I'll call the police now." I kick over his trash bin and scream Wolololo while running away. I'm a lolling asshole when drunk. That poor guy was really scared.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.